the GOAT back. We got the GOAT back. Caitlin Clark is back, baby. Back like she never left. Tell me y'all saw that first three-pointer. It hit a little more rim than usual, but it went in. Caitlin Clark put on an absolute show off the bench.
Caitlin Clark finished this game with 17 points and 12 assists. That's what most people will talk about. The box score, the highlights, the 64-point win. But if you watch this game closely, something else happened. And most people completely missed it, because the real story of Caitlin Clark's Team USA debut wasn't the scoring. It was what happened to the defense the moment she stepped onto the floor.
Her return game, 17 points, 12 minutes, plus 35. 17 points, 12 assists, a double-double in Caitlin Clark's return game. She looked great out there. There's no other way to put it.
Team USA opened the FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying tournament in San Juan against Senegal. The United States is the #1 ranked team in the world. Senegal came in ranked 25. On paper, this was supposed to be a comfortable game. But before the game even started, one detail stood out. Caitlin Clark wasn't in the starting lineup. She began the game on the bench.
Of course, agendas had to be pushed. Caitlin Clark started the game on her bench. Angel Reese gets the start. Ka Copper, Chelsea Gray, De'Arica Henry, Chelsea Gray. You know what a real vet would do? A real vet would say, you know what? Here's my spot. I ain't competing with that. You know what? We're a better team if you take my spot and I try to fit in where I can get it.
Halfway through the first quarter, Clark checked in for the first time, and within seconds you could see the difference. Not because she scored, but because the defense reacted differently. On her first few touches, defenders stepped out farther than normal. Much farther, nearly at the logo. That's when the entire floor started to change. Because when defenders move that far away from the basket, something else opens. Passing lanes, driving lanes, cutting space. Clark didn't need to force anything. She simply moved the ball. A pass to the wing. Assistant. Another pass as the defense rotated. Assistant. The ball kept moving. The defense kept shifting. And suddenly, Senegal was chasing the play instead of controlling it. By the end of the first quarter, the score was 28-11. Clark had 5 points and 4 assists. But the more interesting thing was how stretched the defense already looked.
Caitlin Clark on the move, over to Billings. Billings on the left-hand side, off the glass, and how dangerous is Team USA?
Is that a time?
Hockey subs.
Hockey subs.
Kelsey Plum with her first.
Every time she touched the ball, defenders reacted earlier. They stepped higher. They rotated faster. And that's exactly what Team USA's offense wanted. Because the moment a defense rotates early, someone becomes open. The second quarter made that even clearer. Team USA's offense exploded. At halftime, the Americans led 59-19. They were shooting 70% from the field, 71% from three. Clark already had 8 points and 8 assists. But again, the most interesting part wasn't the stats. It was the spacing. Every possession looked wider, more open, more unpredictable. The defense simply had too many things to worry about. Guard Clark too closely, and the pass appears. Stay back, and she pulls up from deep. That dilemma never really disappeared for Senegal. By the third quarter, frustration started building. Their head coach was ejected after back-to-back technical fouls. The game kept getting further out of reach. By the end of the third quarter, Team USA led 82-36. Clark had already piled up 12 assists. She was controlling the entire rhythm of the game. When the final whistle sounded, the scoreboard showed a complete domination. Team USA 110, Senegal 46. A 64-point victory. Clark finished with 17 points and 12 assists in just 19 minutes. 4 of 5 from 3. 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Her first international double-double, but again, that wasn't the most interesting part. The real story was how the defense reacted every time she touched the ball, because the moment Caitlin Clark crosses half court, the defense stretches. And when a defense stretches, the entire offense changes. That's what most people missed in this game. Clark didn't just score. She forced the defense to play a completely different game. And that's why the offense looked so different when she was on the floor. Now I'm curious what you saw watching this game. Did you notice how far the defense was picking Clark up? Or do you think this was just a blowout where everything was already working? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still watching, drop Clark Vision in the comments so I know you made it all the way through, because this is only the first game of the tournament. And if this debut showed anything, it's that Caitlin Clark might change the way international defenses have to play.
We have a lot to discuss tonight because I just want to start this off for having a moment of silence for all of the critics that said Caitlin was going to be washed. Caitlin wasn't going to be Caitlin. And boy, oh boy, she coming back for revenge. This is going to be a revenge tour of a lifetime, bro. Of a damn lifetime.
17 points, 12 assists, 4 three-pointers. And she did it all in just 19 minutes. But the numbers only tell part of the story, because the real moment happened when Caitlin Clark stepped onto the floor for the first time. That's when everything changed. Team USA was already moving the ball well against Senegal in their opening game of the FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The Americans are the #1 ranked team in the world. Senegal came in ranked 25. So on paper, this game was supposed to be comfortable for the United States. But before the game even tipped off, fans noticed something interesting. Caitlin Clark was not in the starting lineup. Instead, the starters were Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Derica Hamby, Angel Reese, and Jackie Young. Clark began the game on the bench. Then halfway through the first quarter, Clark checked in. And almost immediately, you could see the difference. Within minutes, she had already scored 5 points. She added 4 assists. And suddenly, the pace of the offense looked completely different.
Caitlin Clark on the move, over to Billings. Billings on the left-hand side, off the glass. Been just under a minute and a half left to go in the first. Billings up to Clark. Clark takes her first shot. And it's a 3, and it is good.
The ball moved faster and the floor looked more open. And Senegal's defense suddenly had a new problem to deal with. By the end of the first quarter, Team USA had already built a 17-point lead, 28-11. Clark had 5 points and 4 assists in just over 5 minutes. The game was already starting to break open. The second quarter only made the gap wider. Team USA's offense caught fire. At halftime, the score was 59-19. The Americans were shooting 70% from the field, 71% from 3. And right in the middle of that offensive explosion was Caitlin Clark.
Let's watch. Let's watch what Caitlin Clark did to Senegal. Let's watch this right now. Because this right here was sensational. Caitlin Clark went into this game motivated, activated, and with a mission and a plan. And the plan was to seek and destroy and regain my momentum back. Caitlin Clark showed us today that no matter what anybody says, ignore the haters, shake them all off. Come in ready to work and ready to dominate. Let's check out this clip, bro.
She is the Plum, hands it right back, and Clark off the Billings screen gets it into Monique Billings, and that's how that
players at a time.
Hockey
subs.
8 points, 8 assists, already flirting with a double-double in her very first game with the senior national team. But what stood out wasn't just the stats. It was the way the offense flowed when Clark was running it. Her passing stretched the defense. Her shooting range pulled defenders far away from the basket. And every time she touched the ball, the floor felt bigger. The third quarter continued the same way. Team USA refused to slow down. The defense forced turnovers. The offense kept pushing the pace. By the end of the third quarter, the score was 82-36. Clark had already piled up 12 assists. She was completely controlling the tempo of the game. Meanwhile, frustration was building for Senegal. Their head coach, Cheikh Sarr, was ejected after picking up back-to-back technical fouls.
And you can see how she has a little bit of a tough time getting that one done. There's a technical foul called on Coach Sarr, the head coach of Senegal, upset, I think, with the no call there, and he gets his first technical of the game. And his second technical of the game.
Nothing seemed to slow Team USA down. Their defense forced 20 turnovers. Their offense kept knocking down shots, and by the time the final whistle sounded, the scoreboard told the full story. Team USA 110, Senegal 46. A 64-point victory to open the tournament. Clark finished with 17 points and 12 assists in just 19 minutes. Every field goal she made came from beyond the three-point line, 4 for 5 from deep. She also went a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line. It was her first international double-double, and it came in her very first appearance with the senior Team USA roster. Atlanta Dream guard Ryan Howard led all scorers with 21 points. Angel Reese added 6 points and 8 rebounds. But the moment many fans will remember from this game was when Clark entered the floor for the first time. Because from that point forward, the offense looked different, faster, more dangerous, more unpredictable. That's the effect Caitlin Clark brings to a team. Her shooting stretches the defense, her passing creates easy baskets, and the tempo of the game speeds up the moment she touches the ball. This tournament is only just beginning. Team USA still has games coming up against Puerto Rico, Italy, New Zealand, and Spain. But if tonight showed anything, it's that Caitlin Clark is going to be a huge part of what this team does moving forward. And if you're still watching, drop Clark17 in the comments so I know you made it to the end. But I want to hear your opinion. Did Team USA's offense actually look different when Caitlin Clark entered the game, or do you think this was just a blowout where everything was working? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Well, it's what we've all been waiting for. It's been 239 days, I believe I saw, since Caitlin Clark has been on a basketball court hitting a three-pointer. Today we were all witness. Caitlin Clark is back. She did not start for USA Basketball, for Team USA. The response to that is, yeah. And I knew it would be.
Caitlin Clark scored 17 points in her Team USA debut. That's what most people will talk about. But that's not actually the interesting part of this game, because the real story wasn't Clark scoring. It was the problem she created for the defense. And you could see it the moment she stepped on the floor. When Team USA opened their FIBA World Cup qualifying game against Senegal in San Juan, Clark didn't start. She checked into the game halfway through the first quarter, and on the surface, the play looked simple. Clark brought the ball up the floor. The defense picked her up near half court. That's when the problem began. Because when Caitlin Clark crosses half court, defenders have to make a decision: guard her normally, or step out early to stop the three. That one decision changes everything.
Pure dominance in Caitlin Clark's return. Pure dominance by USA Basketball. 110-46, the final score.
If the defender stays back, Clark can pull up from deep.
Caitlin Clark from deep. Let's check it out. Right here. And she's going to come around the side, way downtown. Boom. Knocked it in. I mean, absolutely beautiful stuff. Here we go. This is our first three right here. You got Kelsey Plum over to Monique Billings, over to Caitlin Clark. Boom. Right there with the little kiss off the glass.
If the defender steps up, the floor opens behind them. Passing lanes appear, cutting lanes appear, and suddenly the offense has space everywhere. That's exactly what happened in this game. Clark's first few possessions looked almost routine. A quick pass to a shooter, an assist to the corner, then another assist when the defense rotated late. But those plays weren't random, they were reactions.
But she was dishing it out. I said online, I'm having John Stockton flashbacks. If you're old enough to know, then you know John Stockton was one hell of a point guard dishing out the rock. Let's watch.
Hands it right back, and Clark.
Right here. Yeah, right there. That was nice. Very nice. One more time. How about one more time? It looks like that's Billings to the basket for the layup. You know you were watching WNBA players
because Senegal's defense had already started shifting toward Clark. The moment she touched the ball, defenders moved, and every time they moved, something opened somewhere else. A corner three, a cutter, a wide open shooter.
How about another three right here from Caitlin? Let's check it out.
5-in, 5-out substitution pattern.
One more time. One more time. Over, way downtown. Booyaka. Yeah. Knocked it in. It was real nice. Real nice.
By the end of the first quarter, the scoreboard showed the result. 28-11. Clark had 5 points and 4 assists. But more importantly, the defense was already stretched.
Caitlin Clark had a berserk 17 points. Wow. Wow. 4 of 5 from three-point range. 12 assists in 19 minutes and 21 seconds. Absolute, pure, unadulterated domination.
By halftime, the game was basically over. Team USA led 59-19. The Americans were shooting 70% from the field, more than 70% from three. Clark had 8 points and 8 assists. But the most interesting part of the game wasn't the numbers. It was the spacing. Every time Clark touched the ball, the defense reacted earlier. Defenders stepped out higher, helped defenders rotated faster, and that's when the real damage happened. Because when the defense rotates early, the offense gets easy shots. That's why Clark finished the game with 12 assists in just 19 minutes. She didn't just create shots, she forced the defense to break its shape. By the third quarter, Senegal was completely overwhelmed. The score stretched to 82-36. Frustration boiled over. Their head coach was ejected after 2 technical fouls.
Ivan, you can see how she has a little bit of a tough time getting that one done. There's a technical foul called on Coach Sarr, the head coach of Senegal, upset, I think, with the no call there, and he gets his first technical of the game. And his second technical of the game.
And by the end of the game, the scoreboard told the story. Team USA 110, Senegal 46, a 64-point win. Clark finished with 17 points and 12 assists, 4 of 5 from 3, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, her first international double-double. But again, the numbers aren't the real story. The real story is the problem Caitlin Clark creates for a defense, because the moment she crosses half court, the defense has to stretch. And when a defense stretches, the entire floor changes. Passing lanes open, rotations slow down, and the offense suddenly has more space than it normally would. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. And if this game showed anything, it's that Team USA just gained a new weapon. Not just a scorer, but a player who forces defenses to change the way they guard the entire floor. And if you're still watching, drop Clark effect in the comments. But I'm curious what you noticed in this game. Did the defense actually look different when Clark had the ball? Or do you think this was just a blowout where everything was working? Let me know what you think. Caitlin Clark just exploded in her Team USA debut. 17 points, 12 assists, 4 three-pointers, all in just 19 minutes. But here's the part that surprised everyone. Caitlin Clark didn't start the game, she came off the bench. And before we even go further, I want to ask you something. Should Caitlin Clark be starting for Team USA? Drop your answer in the comments right now, yes or no. Because after what just happened in this game, that debate is about to get loud. Now here's how this whole thing unfolded. Team USA opened the FIBA Women's World Cup qualifying tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico against Senegal. The United States entered the game ranked number 1 in the world. Senegal came in ranked 25. But even with that gap, the biggest storyline before the game wasn't the rankings. It was Caitlin Clark making her first appearance with the senior Team USA squad. This was Clark's long-awaited debut with the national team, and it came after an injury-affected WNBA season where she played only 13 games. When the starting lineup was announced, fans immediately noticed something. Clark wasn't in it. Team USA started Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Darica Hamby, Angel Reese, and Jackie Young. Clark began the game on the bench, and that decision instantly caught people's attention, because this isn't just any player. This is Caitlin Clark, one of the most talked about players in the entire sport. But halfway through the first quarter, Clark checked into the game. And the moment she stepped onto the floor, everything changed. Within minutes, she had already scored 5 points. She delivered 4 assists. And Team USA's offense suddenly looked faster and more dangerous.
Been just under a minute and a half left to go in the first. Billings up to Clark. Clark takes her first shot. And it's a 3, and it is good. Kaylin Clark on the move, over to Billings. Billings on the left-hand side, off the glass.
By the end of the first quarter, the Americans already had a 17-point lead. Senegal struggled to find any rhythm. Team USA's defense was forcing turnovers and shutting down nearly every good look. The second quarter only widened the gap. At halftime, the score was 59-19. The United States was shooting 70% from the field, 71% from 3. And right in the middle of that dominance was Caitlin Clark. 8 points, 8 assists, already on double-double watch in her very first Team USA game. The second half didn't slow down either. Clark continued orchestrating the offense. She kept finding open shooters. And every time she pulled up from deep, the defense had to respect it. By the end of the third quarter, the score was 82-36. Clark already had 12 assists. Meanwhile, frustration was boiling over for Senegal. Their head coach, Cheikh Sarr, was ejected after receiving back-to-back technical fouls.
Ivan, you can see how she has a little bit of a tough time getting that one done. There's a technical foul called on Coach Sarr, the head coach of Senegal, upset, I think, with the no call there, and he gets his first technical of the game. And his second technical of the game.
Nothing seemed to slow Team USA down. Their defense forced 20 turnovers. Their offense couldn't miss. By the final whistle, the scoreboard told the whole story. Team USA 110, Senegal 46, a 64-point victory to open the tournament. Clark finished with 17 points and 12 assists in just 19 minutes. Every field goal she made came from beyond the three-point line. 4 for 5 from deep.
Paige finds herself down low, kicks it out to Caitlin Clark. Clark puts it up and nothing but net.
She also went a perfect 5 for 5 from the free throw line, her first international double-double, and it came in her very first game with the senior national team. Atlanta Dream guard Ryan Howard led all scorers with 21 points. Angel Reese added 6 points and 8 rebounds. But the biggest story of the night wasn't just the final score. It was what happened when Caitlin Clark stepped on the floor, because the offense instantly looked different, faster, more spaced, more explosive. Which brings us back to the question that started before the game even tipped off. Why isn't Caitlin Clark starting for Team USA? Maybe the coaching staff is managing her minutes after injuries. Maybe they want to ease her back into full competition. Or maybe they're simply experimenting with different lineups during these qualifiers. But when a player can produce 17 points and 12 assists in less than 20 minutes, it's hard not to notice. So now the conversation begins. Should Caitlin Clark be starting for Team USA? Or do you think bringing her off the bench is the right move right now? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still watching, drop Clark17 in the comments so I know you made it all the way through. But seriously, should Caitlin Clark be starting for Team USA? Or is the bench role the right decision for now?